Hello, everybody. I think it's time we had a Mr. Man story. It's been a little while since I did one. Hopefully, you've been able to listen to those that are already recorded. And of course, I've also been in James and the Giant Peach, which is beginning to get to quite an exciting point. So you've always got that one to listen to as well. So I took a story at random. I mean, it's from anywhere in the box of the Mr. Men stories. And out should come Mr. Snow. And I thought, oh, that's a funny story. I can't read that. It's summer now. It's sunny and so on. I thought, well, no, we can. It's always fun to remember the fun things we did in winter. And I don't think we actually had much chance to build any snowmen this year. So perhaps we can just think about them and what snowmen are like and what they do and so on and so on. And of course, normally when we do the Mr. Men stories, I try to remember what they look like and what colours they are. Well, I think we know Mr. Snowman is almost certainly white. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a snowman, would he? But he does have a hat on. He has a little round bowler hat. I don't know if anybody, because it's not a story I've ever read before, so I don't know how well you know this one. And his little hat, the colour of that is blue. And around his neck, as all snowmen should really, he's got a scarf to keep him warm and looking snowman-like. And his scarf is always a Southampton scarf, I think. Look, he's wearing a red and white scarf. So that is Mr. Snow. Shall we see just what he gets up to? Okay. One night, 2 days before Christmas, it started to snow. So this is a sort of story we'd normally read in the winter, isn't it? And now I found it, I shall make sure that for reception children in the future, I shall read this not long before Christmas. One night, 2 days before Christmas, it started to snow. All night, it snowed and snowed and snowed and snowed and snowed. Millions and billions and trillions of big, white, soft snowflakes covered the whole white world. And there it is, like a spotty something like that. When morning came, it was quite amazing to see just how much snow had fallen. All the houses, all the trees, all the roads, and all the fields were covered. It was almost as if a huge white blanket had been gently laid over everything, and everywhere you looked was white. And there you can see the snow. Look, it's come halfway out the front door. So whoever lives there is going to have trouble getting in and out. And then the sun came out, and so did the children. They were all dressed up and muffled up, wearing scarves and woolies and gloves and boots, so they wouldn't catch cold. That's very different to the moment, isn't it? I bet you've all been out running around in the garden wearing shorts and little vests and jumping out of paddling pools because it's been so warm. So you've got to try and think in your mind, haven't you? You've got to imagine, what was it like? What is it like at Christmas time when it snowed? All the children, pardon me, all the children were so excited to see so much snow, which isn't surprising really, because there was more snow than they'd ever seen before. Some of them went on their sledges, racing down the hills. Some of them, who didn't have sledges, threw snowballs at each other. One little boy even made a snowball that was as big as himself. He's going to have trouble throwing that, isn't he? And some of the children, of course, as we always do, made snowmen. And then it was Christmas Eve. The children all went home early so they could go to bed early, so they could get up early to see what Father Christmas had brought them. Do you remember what you got last Christmas? All those cracking little presents you got. It's always good. Christmas Eve and Christmas morning is always good, isn't it? But that particular Christmas Eve, Father Christmas was in trouble. And the trouble was, it had snowed so much that Father Christmas was stuck, well and truly stuck. There was so much snow that his reindeer simply couldn't pull his sleigh piled high with all the presents that he had to deliver to all the children. And I suppose they can pull them when they're flying through the air, but they've got to land, haven't they? And then how do they get to the houses they want to get to? Oh dear, thought Father Christmas to himself. Oh dear, what am I to do? He sat down on his sack of toys and thought how he could manage to deliver all the presents to all the children before they woke up on Christmas morning. Oh dear me, he said out loud, and sighed, and there he is, sitting on his very large sack, wondering what to do. Now, it just so happened that Father Christmas had got himself stuck just beside a snowman which one of the children had built. And in fact, there he is, look. Not quite like Mr. Snowman, but he's wearing the same things, isn't he, Mr. Snow? And that gave Father Christmas an idea. A good idea. A very good idea. A very, very good idea indeed. How would you like to help me? He asked the snowman. But of course, the snowman didn't answer because snowmen can't talk, can they? Particularly this one, the children made, he's got no mouth. Of course, I'll have to use some of my magic to bring him to life, thought Father Christmas to himself. Because I think we would all agree Father Christmas must be magic. Otherwise, how can he travel around the world so quickly? How can he get to everybody's houses? How can he get all the right presents in the right house? He must be magic. So, he tugged his white beard once, twice, 3 times, muttered some Father Christmassy magic words into it, and suddenly, you might almost say magically, the snowman did come to life. And there he is, look, and he's got a mouth now so he can talk. He's got proper arms and proper legs, but still the same hat and still his Southampton scarf. Hello, Father Christmas, said Mr. Snow, which was the snowman's name. Is that what you would call a snowman? Mr. Snow. Or Mrs. Snow, of course, depending on how you made it. Could be, couldn't it? You look a bit sort of stuck, if you ask me, which you aren't, but I'll say so anyway. And if you ask me again, I'd say you need a sort of helping hand, if you know what I mean, which you probably do, because that's probably why you brought me to life, which you certainly did. So can I be of any assistance? I suppose he's never spoken before, so now he's going to talk a lot at speed. Mr. Snow, as you might have gathered, was a rather talkative sort of snowman. Exactly, beamed Father Christmas. Let's get started. And start they did. Mr. Snow gave Father Christmas an enormous push, and off they went. They divided the work between them. It was Mr. Snow's job to make sure that all the right toys for all the right boys, and before you start getting worried, all the right toys for all the right girls were put into all the right sacks. It was Father Christmas's job to make sure he took all the right sacks down all the right chimneys and delivered all the right toys to all the right boys and all the right toys to all the right girls. Mr. Snow and Father Christmas made sure that Susan got a teddy bear. Lucky Susan. Mr. Snow and Father Christmas made sure that Peter got his train. Some of you may remember the story of Father Christmas on the naughty step. And you may remember there was a big wooden train for one of the children in that book. And Father Christmas went on a sneaky ride down the hill and broke up all the presents and got himself into really big trouble. Quite like that train. Mr. Snow and Father Christmas made sure that John got his very own piggy bank. I expect one day John will own the bank. Mr. Snow and Father Christmas even made sure that little Jane got her squeaky pink elephant to play with in the bath. Then all of a sudden they discovered that between them, like magic, they'd finished. I'd like to thank you very much indeed for helping me deliver all the right toys to all the right boys, said Father Christmas, shaking Mr. Snow by the hand. And not forgetting all the right toys to all the right girls, replied Mr. Snow, shaking Father Christmas by the hand. Now I'd better turn you back into a snowman again, said Father Christmas. Thank you again, and goodbye. And there they are, look, saying goodbye. My pleasure, smiled Mr. Snow. Do you know, from that Christmas to this Christmas, Father Christmas always chooses a snowman to help him. So, the next time you build a snowman, you'd better make sure you build him properly, because somebody you know and who you want to come visit you might want that snowman to give him a hand. And I think you know who that would be, don't you? So that's the story of Mr. Snow, and that's like a Christmas story. Now, if in some places, in some countries, Christmas comes in the middle of summer. So if you live in Australia, for example, in December, when it's Christmas in Australia, it's really, really hot. So they have their Christmas on the beach and they have barbecues instead of turkey, or maybe have turkey on the barbecue, I don't know. So their Christmas, it feels all sort of topsy-turvy. So that story is a little bit like, and you can imagine that if you want to think about it in your little heads, think about imagining that it is Christmas in Australia. And that story is what it is like. You look out of the window and it's all sunshine and blue skies, and you're dreaming of Father Christmas bringing you presents. So, that's a bit of fun, isn't it? I will read you another story very shortly. I promise not to leave it as long this time to the next one, when I think we'll have Little Miss. In fact, I think I'm going to read Little Miss Tiny next. So, looking forward to that. Be happy, everybody. Talk soon.